Welcome back to some more battles. We are in the open Great League, and today we're going to be using the Charjabug paired with the Shadow, Lapras, and the Blastoise in the back. So let's see if this team's going to work out. ABB water types, and hope for the best. So we're going to be facing Charjabug versus the Feraligatr. This is pretty decent. The pacing of Feraligatr is going to be pretty quick, as we know. So we're going to show the first one and then see what happens. Let's see if they invest a shield in this. Nope. So we get the lead, and then we see the Talonflame lurking in the back. This Meganium is going to be able to reach a Frenzy Plant, so we're just going to have to let it go. Now we're going to have our Charjabug just take out this Meganium after one more charge move. We have to use this X-Scissor right here. They're going to let it go because they still have that Talonflame, and Talonflame is going to have to beat this Shadow Lapras now. Flame Charge is used, so they're looking to try to boost their way through this matchup. But you can see right here, our Psy Waves are actually adding up. The Sparkling is going to get shielded, and looks like they did have another move. And luckily for us, we did get to another discharge for the KO. So GG Star Opponent, able to win that game with our Charjabug at the end. Even though we lost all our energy on our Blastoise versus that Meganium. Okay, we got an interesting lead here. Charjabug versus the Guzzlord. We're not really doing a lot of fast move pressure, but our charge moves will do significant amount. We did build up to 2, so we're either going to get a shield or going to get the KO here. Let's see what they decide to do. They decide to shield, and then we're just going to switch out. We take the energy advantage into Morpeko. Morpeko tanks the Hydro. Not sure if that was the play, but now we're going to look to take out this Morpeko or get that second shield. And just like that, we have energy with our Blastoise, and we still have a shield. Unfortunately, this Jellicent here is going to resist all of our moves, so we just do our best to chunk away at it. They actually switch out into their Guzzlord, so this is going to allow us well, we were trying to farm down, but then they cap-tied us, so now we're just going to have to win this game with our Lapras and a shield. Our opponent here is building up a good amount of energy. We're just going to let this go. Surf is not enough to take us out, which allows us to get to the the Sparkling, which gets their last shield. And then all we have to do is go in with our Blastoise. And it looks like they GG's quit. So well played by us. It looks like the energy advantage on the Blastoise ended up coming into play. And sometimes that's all it takes. Okay, we got the Charjabug versus Clado. Horrible lead. We're going to go into the Blastoise immediately. They let us get to this Hydro here, and they just tanked the move. That is quite amazing by that Clado. Clado decides to go for the Rock Tomb. A good amount of damage. But we get to another Hydro, and we do end up getting the shield anyways. So Clado has some residual energy. We're going to go straight into our Charjabug, forcing them to use this Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb does debuff us, but we get to this X-Scissor, and now we have the Lapras 2 shield versus the Talonflame and the Golisopod. So we're just going to go straight for the Skull Bash. Huge Skull Bash goes through. Easy shield here. Now we take the energy back into this Talonflame matchup. We have to make a call. We're just going to let the first one go, and ends up only being the Flame Charge. So that means that we are going to be able to get their last shield. But unfortunately, looks like they are going to be able to farm us down. So maybe in hindsight, we should have shielded that Flame Charge. And then we would have been a little bit healthier to potentially get to another Sparkling. Okay, interesting lead here. Their pacing is just way faster than us. However, we can tank the first move. They cannot. So they decide to switch out into their Drapion. Drapion tanks that move, and then we're going to go in straight to our Blastoise. Blastoise is able to tank the crunch, but we get debuff, so we're going to have to fire off this Hydro immediately. And then you can see right here, we get to another Hydro before they get to throw their move. They decide to shield. Now this is where it gets kind of tricky because they have the energy advantage. We do have the shield advantage. We're going to shield here. And then we have our move caught, unfortunately, so they're just playing with the switch timers. And at this point, we have only one option, is to try to farm this Clogsire down so we have energy to throw back at that Marpeco. And that's exactly what we do. This Marpeco comes in, tries to farm us down, I guess. They have to use their last shield. And we have no energy on our Charjabug, unfortunately. And our only play right there was to call a bait. And they decided to just go for the Aura Wheel. So GG's to our opponent. Unable to win that game, unfortunately. And just had to make sure our move wasn't caught to win that game. Terrible lead. We're going to go into the Blastoise. They switch into their Mandibuzz. That is an interesting switch. The Mandibuzz is taking super effective fast moves and neutral charge moves. However, it is very tanky, but it is not going to be tanky enough to win this without using shields. So we're going to take the advantage and look for the one shield farm down, but we unfortunately cannot get there. We have to throw this Hydro or they're going to get to another move. But just like that, we have maintained alignment and they come back in with their Clogsire, so they really do not want to see this Blastoise. We throw another Hydro, it does a decent amount of damage. They are able to throw the move right before we get to another Hydro. Sludge Bomb is used, and now we know they have Sludge Bomb and probably Earthquake. There's another Sludge Bomb, and now we see the Grumpig. So Grumpig is going to be able to throw the move first. We're just going to shield because we need to get to 2 X Scissors. Here comes the first X Scissor, and they do shield it. So now we're just going to fire off the next one, and it doesn't KO, which is not the worst thing, because if this KOs us, we can farm down with our Lapras. They don't allow us to, so they're going to switch out immediately, and then we're going to get to the Sparkling to take out the Clogsire, and then farm down the Grumpig. So check out the team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.